All right, Jake, update us on your swimming and diving team. You were up in New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and you will compete again coming up in early January. What's been going on with your team?
Right now, training. We came back from the Rutgers invite 2 weeks ago, and right now we're training. Getting ready for finals, too. Finals week coming up, so academically we're getting them geared up for that. Of course, we're student athletes, and we're students first. So training hard in the pool, and we're reminding our women about the academic priority that they have first and foremost. And getting ready for our Florida training trip and another matchup with Gulf Coast.
You were 5-1 in the 6 meets you had back in the fall. Update us on those. You had some records fall and some good meets. So give us an update.
We did, yeah. We had a fantastic dual meet portion of our season. JMU again was one that we wish we would have gotten there. That was a trap meet, and it always is. We come back from our big flight trip and we swim JMU, and I do that on purpose because I want our women to have to come back from a big, fast, emotional trip and still step up and have to swim fast. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm going to keep doing it, even if we keep losing, because it's important for us to be able to step up after a big win, such as a Utah, BYU, and Air Force, and come back and swim fast. Last year we went to Texas, swam TCU, beat them, came back the very next weekend, lost to JMU. This year went out to Colorado, swam Air Force, BYU, and Utah. Very next week lost to JMU. Next year we're going to fly somewhere, and we're going to have a big emotional meet against somebody, and hopefully we're going to win. And the very next weekend we're going to swim JMU. And that's what we're going to do because I want us to be able to come back from meets like that and still swim fast. But having mentioned the fall, it was fantastic. We always talk about Notre Dame and BYU. We want Liberty to be what Notre Dame is for Catholics and BYU is for Mormons. I'm not sure that we're ready for Notre Dame yet, but swimming and diving, we can cross BYU off the list. It was also nice to race against Air Force as well. Just the pride that they have, when those student athletes, and it was both men and women there for Air Force, when they walk on deck, you can tell that they attend a service academy. And I would love for our women, for our student athletes to walk around a pool deck someday with just that air about them that says, I attend Liberty University. And it's you notice it, you can smell it, you can see it when Air Force student athletes are walking on a pool deck. And I would love for us to have that someday here at Liberty. So it was neat for our women to see that. And it was nice to get a win over Air Force as well. Win over Utah was big as well. It was our second win over a Pac-12 program to go with Oregon State. I believe it was 3 years ago. So a great fall, swam well at Rutgers. Delia Weber had a school record in the mile and the 1,000, which was the highlight of that meet. Fantastic fall and a big win over BYU.
As you prepare for your next meet coming up in January, you mentioned the training. What's going on in the pool as you prepare your team?
Well, we're working. We're in a heavy. The physiology is kind of hard to explain, but we're in a heavy portion of our season. If you look at the weight room, if you look at what we're doing in the pool, it's high intensity. The volume's starting to get a little bit higher as well. So we're getting after it, as they say. We don't have a meet for another 3 weeks. And so we can really hit it right now as far as training goes. We will back off a little bit during finals week. We want finals week to be a low pressure, low stress week for them. We're still in season, so we still train, but we'll back off from going heavy in the power towers and the weight belts and even the weight room. We'll keep the volume high. The intensity will drop a little bit. But we're training. I mean, we're getting ready for Gulf Coast in the second half of the year.
I want to also take this opportunity, Jake, to talk about the indoor pool and what's going to be going on behind the indoor track and something that you're very excited about.
Yes, on the north end of the indoor track, we announced in May 9th, I believe it was, a day that will live in infamy for Liberty swimming and diving history. May 9th, we announced our new indoor pool, indoor 50-meter natatorium with a separate well. What a blessing. And I could talk ad nauseum. I could talk for days.
Platform's yours?
I'm sure LFSN will have a limit here, a rate limiter somewhere. To make a long story short, it was 7 years of back and forth, and are we going to build it? Are we not going to build it? And we knew that it would get done eventually. We knew that eventually someday there would be a 50-meter pool, new pool here on campus. We didn't know when. It was not a question of if, just a question of when. And if you work hard and you have faith, God answers those prayers. And you can't do it just on faith alone, and you can't do it just with works. And we know that. And it's a great metaphor for building a program as well. It takes faith and work, or works in the plural. And we have a lot more to do. We're not complacent. We're not satisfied, but we've built, if you look at it objectively, just look at the numbers, we've built a pretty good program here over 7 years. We're going to have every first practice of the year, we're going to have in this pool. For every year that we're in the new pool, fine. We're going to have our first practice every year in this pool, because I want each freshman class to understand what the previous 7 years went through. They say the hallmark of a great program is when women plant shade trees they know they'll never sit under. And I paraphrase, that quote, but the idea that we've had women come through this program that will never swim in that new pool. We want our current and even future women to understand what they went through swimming in this facility. It's going to be a fantastic pool. It really is. 50 meters with a separate well. It'll have a unique bowl seating configuration for 1,200 people. It'll have an endless pool that'll double as a hot tub for the divers. More. We're going to have a 12 by 42 foot scoreboard, and that's massive. I mean, that's as big as some people's football scoreboards. We're going to have a separate scoreboard just for diving. Right now, this pool has a scoreboard for swimming, and it's not a video board. We'll have 2 video boards, one for swimming, one for diving. Even just having a separate well. Diving coaches, divers, sometimes they feel as though they're forgotten or even second-class citizens if they don't have their own well. Because if you don't have your own well, then the swim team takes first priority, and divers have to practice, at a later time or earlier or whenever it might be. With a separate well, we'll be able to have swimming and diving practice run concurrently, and the divers will be adjacent to the swimmers, and even just with the temperature of the well. So divers like it warmer, all right? Divers like a warmer well. They'll be able to heat the well to 86, 87, whereas the competition training racing pool will be 79, 80. And just small things like that, the divers are going to feel as though they matter, and they do. So it'll be a unique facility, and the bowl seating configuration it'll make for one of the greatest and the best racing atmospheres in the country. I fully believe that. It'll be the only college pool at this level in the country that has bowl seating. My thought process there when I was designing the pool, I wanted swimmers and divers to feel what football and basketball types do on a regular basis. And we don't get that in swimming. Once every 4 years we have the Olympics, and so we feel it then. But just on a regular basis, I mean, football, basketball types, they run out of the tunnel every day, every game, to a crowd of thousands of cheering fans. How could we recreate that for swimming? And so a bowl seating configuration will help. There's much more I could say. I'll let you have the floor again.
Do me a favor, save me a jump off the high dive, one of the first ones, and I'll meet you there, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna open the pool sometime next fall. Not quite sure when, but the target date is the fall of 2017. We're pouring footers right now. If you head up there, we've got concrete in the ground where a wall will be someday, and we've got rebar sticking straight up, getting ready for concrete to be poured for some walls, and then we'll put steel up after that.
All right, Jake, we appreciate your time. Can't wait to see the new pool and the follow success coming up in the spring.
Thanks, Alan.
As you can see, the energy and the excitement for women swimming and diving is palpable. And for more information on the women's swimming and diving team, stay logged on here to libertyflames.com.